How's everybody doing? Huh? How are we doing today on this beautiful Friday afternoon? It's 46 degrees. It's cloudy. There's a 30-mile-an-hour wind. So I can't go fishing. So here we are. You see the title of the video. You say, get the hell to it, Jaws. I'm busy. All right. So here's what we're doing. Those of you know who are members, YouTube members, Patreon members, and I've let everybody know this, that I write an article after every Panthers game. And I've thought long and hard about how can I add something of significant value to encourage membership, to encourage people to join the YouTube membership Patreon. That take that, put it over here. On the other hand, some things going on YouTube wise, business wise that I have to be aware of. Economy's not so great. The advertising revenue in terms of the revenue that I make on the ads, on the videos, has gone down, and it was never really high. But I would say it's gone from where I was averaging maybe $6 to $7 a thousand views to now that's probably been cut down to 4, maybe 5. Like the reviews with Stu, if enough of you watch the full thing with the ads in it, I make about $5 or $6. The recaps, I make about $2, maybe 3 on a good one. So it's not a very successful business plan. So, and I know, I can chase sponsors. I can do that. Got Manscaped. I've actually got a dog product I'm doing a video for next week. That's one way to do it. It's extremely time consuming. Seeking out the sponsors, making the deal, learning about the product, making the extra videos. You get the point. Having to do the reads in the videos, which I'm doing the best I can, but I'm not overly comfortable doing it because I'm already putting ads in the videos. So now I'm putting ads in the videos. So to me, this is going to get a little bit out of control. So what I've decided to do is I bet on myself with the live streaming, and that seems to have worked. As an aside, you guys know I'm always up front. The overwhelming support and ridiculous generosity that you all are showing to Kyle and I on the live streams, that's why this channel is still here. And that's the reality of it. That's why I decided to start the live stream, because I looked at my finances and I said, I have to do this, or I have to go work in Dunkin' Donuts. I have to make more money. And so the live streams have helped significantly. So I'm saying thank you, but also for those of you who appreciate this channel and like the fact that we can have such an in-depth Panthers channel. It's my channel, but this is a group effort, because the people who consistently have been giving during the live streams and the super thanks, those of you who've been doing that, you guys are really the ones, you guys and girls are really the ones that make this channel possible. Now, in terms of the YouTube memberships and the Patreon, I'm going to have links in the description, links in the pinned comment. I'm probably going to put a little card up here in the video a couple of times where you can link to join. I have the memberships set at $3 a month. You can go higher. There's 3, there's 5. I think there's a couple other levels, but the lowest level is now $3 a month for either one. What I'm adding as a benefit for the members and the Patreon supporters is a Monday through Friday 1 hour-long sports podcast. So it's just going to be the Flying Fluffy Sports podcast. It's going to be an hour long. It's going to be every day, Monday through Friday, for members only, members and Patreon supporters only. I feel like that's the safest way for me to continue to build this, because the more I depend on ad revenue, the economy and YouTube at any time can say, oh, now it's only $2 a thousand. Now I'm only making $1 for a video. So I need to have a little bit more of a control over that. So now here's how this is going to work. I'm going to the members will have access to the full episode by 2 o'clock each day. I've thought over and over about doing like a random video here, random video there. My schedule doesn't work really good with random things at all. Something has to be scheduled in to my day. So it's actually easier for me to schedule in a 1 hour podcast every day than it is to say next Tuesday I'm going to do something. That doesn't work for me because of my schedule. So every day the members will have access to the full hour by 2 o'clock. Now, what I am going to do for the regular viewers, regular subscribers, regular viewers, is out of each podcast, I'm going to take maybe a 5 to 8 minute segment, okay, and make that its own video here on the channel, just like any other video would be. And I'll also probably produce at least one short, the shorts videos, so that will still give a little something extra to the channel for the regular people who aren't members and Patreon supporters, and it will also help to advertise the podcast, obviously, right? Because that's kind of the give and take, right? You can try to build a podcast where it's a subscription based, but then how do you get people to know about the podcast? So I want to be clear and transparent there for the people that do join, because I ran a poll yesterday. Last night I started a poll to get an idea of judgment to get a judgment call on how many people would be interested. It's been pretty much 50-50 the entire time. I think there's 24 people already that said that they'd be interested in that. I know maybe not every single person is going to immediately join. I grasp that, but that kind of interest on a poll that's not even 24 hours old, I think that pretty much tells me that there'll be enough interest moving forward for me to make this work. So that podcast is going to start next Friday, the 27th. Give me a week to get my ducks in a row, get everything cleared. I need a new thumbnail, new graphics. I want to make sure I've got that all nice and tight. That podcast is not going to be available anywhere else. You're not going to hear me also put it on Spotify, iTunes, any of that. There will be no ads in the podcast. It's not going to be any YouTube ads. I'm not going to get sponsors for the podcast. You guys are the sponsors for the podcast. Okay. So now, in terms of what the podcast is going to be, Fine Fluffy Sports. Somebody had made the comment that they'd like a significantly in-depth Panther podcast. What I can say is that support for the podcast will allow me to continue to do this channel at the level of adding in some more in-depth Panther stuff to the regular channel. So the podcast itself is going to be sports, but I would if I had to pick two podcasters that I would say my style is probably a mixture of. Think about like if Pat McAfee got together with Rich Eisen. Okay, there may be some days when I'm raring to go, and then there's also going to be some other parts in the podcast that aren't necessarily exactly what's happening on the field. There's, as you all know, there's issues and subjects that come up in sports. I try to avoid that stuff. I'm not saying I'm going to get political, but there are times when opinions need to be shared. So that's going to be the basis of that show, is going to be not just what I think is going to happen in the NFL or in the NHL. I'm going to be adding in some different things as I go. Obviously, you guys know I'm mainly football and hockey. I'm not saying I'll never touch about baseball, but that as the show grows, so will I. I'll grow with the show. We'll put it that way. But in terms of how the show is going to be formatted, there will be no ads, and I'm not planning on having a tremendous number of guests. I will reach out to people, or if they reach out to me, if they are guests above my level. Okay. So if it's somebody like a Billy Lindsay or, somebody that's above where I'm at, I will attempt to get them on. It's not going to be, it's not going to be a podcast where I get the regular everyday fan on. Those videos are saved for the regular channel because there's more interest there. So I feel like if people are actually paying for it, which by the way, $3 a month adds up to about 15 cents a show. I just did that math in my head while I was talking to you. It's about 15 cents a show. So I know there may be some people who sarcastically feel like for an hour, that's all I'm worth is 15 cents, but that's legit all I'm asking is 15 cents. Now, nothing else is being removed. You guys know how I work. When I add something in, I'm not taking anything away. So all of the content that you are used to on the regular channel, that's staying. The post-game articles, that's staying. In fact, I'm adding in post-game articles for the Dolphins as well next season for the members and Patreon supporters. So you can kind of see where I'm trying to go with this because, the way I've set my life up and everything else, I don't need a ton of money. I'm going to be straight with you guys. I don't need a lot of money to live. Okay. But I do need some. I do need some. So it's allowed me to, only have the eBay thing and now this channel. But with the way that the world is going, the way the economy is going, whatever word you want to use, ad revenue in terms of what YouTube is paying, views are going up and the revenue is going down. That's not sustainable. So I'm trying to get ahead of that curve. So that's what we're doing here. All right. So again, that first show is going to be next Friday. It will be available for members at 2:00. Okay. The full by 2:00. Depending on my schedule, I may get up in the morning and record it. I may not be able to start recording until noon, but it will be up by 2. And then right after that, you'll see something come out on the regular channel where there'll be a segment from the live stream and then a short for those of you who like to watch those shorts. And plus, they've monetized shorts now. We start earning some income on the shorts. So every little bit helps, right? And it literally every little bit helps as you hear Fluffy snoring. So, all right, that was it. I hope I didn't take too much of your time, but I kind of wanted to make sure I covered it all and made it all clear the reasons why I'm doing it. Anybody have any questions? Let me know. Like I said, the links are in the description. There will be a pinned comment. And show starts next Friday. Can't wait. Appreciate all the support. And we'll see you again real soon.